Just you don't need this stuff.
Good Vach, good Vach. Good Vach.
This book, Shalato.
I had Moshe Blitz at my house this morning.
You what?
Moshe Blitz was at my house this morning.
How come?
He's friends with my friend Gerard Einhorn, and we
Oh
went to
yeah.
today. So
Um,
the Sadiger Rebbe was in town, so went to go see him.
he was at Yavna.
The Rebbe was at Yavna. Yeah, he knows a few
Ah,
people there.
yeah. He walks with him every week.
Good Vach, George.
Good
Hi,
walk. How
George.
are you guys?
Good,
Baruch
good.
Hashem.
The
Baruch
weather turned
Hashem.
nice. I'm in a good mood. I like nice weather.
I like cold weather, is what I like.
Yeah.
I got a place for you up in Toronto.
Oh, please. I was up in Vancouver to go skiing.
Yeah. You still
Yeah,
ski?
I still ski, if you can believe it.
Wow, good for you.
I'm a real Michigan.
Listen, if you can do it, why not?
You
So
know,
hope you.
my idea is that as long as Hashem keeps me upright and I
Yeah.
can keep moving, that
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
feel that
take
it's good.
advantage. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know.
Just don't end up like your sister.
That's exactly right, with a cracked ankle, but God willing, so far so good. I do say Shema all the time on the slopes. I want you to know.
I guess it works.
So far, so
I
good.
for me it works because I think mentally it's a lot of gratitude for that. Ay, 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 ay.
Mario.
Hi, hello, good
Oh,
walk,
good stuff.
Good walk, good walk, good walk.
good walk. What is it today? The last blast? I know.
No, not yet.
We are in 117, right?
Uh,
No,
Yeah,
we,
117.
okay.
yeah.
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah, we're at
Hi.
Yes.
117.
Shavua Tov, everybody.
So what's off?
Well,
We are on Kuf Yud Zayin, 117. So we are asking, the Brisa said that in Shiloh they only had 2 machanos. That normally we've been talking about in the Midbar and the Beis Hamikdash, you had Machne Shechina, Machne Leviya, and Machne Yisrael. But in Shiloh, there was only 2. Now, if you say, we said, you can't say that the Machne Leviya didn't exist, because Nimtzu Zavinu Tmei Mesim Mishtalkin Chutz Machne Achas. The Zav and the Tamei Mesim would be sent out of Machne Shechina, which is one camp. But Vahatorah Amra, V'lo Yitamu Es Machaneihem, plural, Tein Machane Lezeh, U'Machane Lezeh. So, if they were both kicked out of Machne Shechina to Machne Yisrael, it doesn't fulfill the Torah, because it seems that the Torah wants them to go to different camps. Must be that there was a Machne Leviya, and the Tamei Mesim were not allowed to be in Machne Shechina. They went into Machne Leviya, and the Zav was kicked out of the Machne Leviya. Well, that means there had to be Machne Shechina, Machne Leviya. However, Amar Le Rava Elamai. So what are you going to tell me? Machne Yisrael Ohavi? So there's no Machne Yisrael. You have the same problem, because you have the Metzora. Nimtzu Zavin Metzora Mishtachlu Malkam Echad. If there was no Ma Yisrael, then the Metzora and Zav would end up being in the same place. And the Torah Amra Badad Yeshev. Remember, Miriam was thrown out of all the Machanos when she was a Metzoras. Shlo Yeshev Tamar Acher Imo. Nobody can be with the Metzora. So the Brisa said that Shiloh only had 2 machos. We don't know which one was missing. So, and lo'olam kula tlasahav. So Rava says that there's no other way to learn. They must have all 3 machanos in Shiloh. So what does it mean? Umay lohayu elishtei machnos leklita. So we know that when Klal Yisrael came into Eretz Yisrael, they were commanded to create 6 Ari Miklat, where somebody who murdered B'Shogeg would run. Now, in the Midbar, we're going to see that they could run into Machne Leviya, where Moshe was. If somebody during the 40 years killed by accident, what happened in Shiloh was they didn't have the Machne Levi. There was no Machne Levi in Shiloh that they could run to. Does this mean that Machne Levi, where Moshe was in the Midbar, was like a Miklat? The Gemara says yeah. And there's a brisa to show it. It says, V'santi l'cha makom. In the parsha of the Ari Miklat, it says, I will make a place for you. It means b'chayecha. What does it mean, l'cha? I mean, even in your life, there will be a place where the murderers can run. Makom emkomcha, meaning your place, where you live, Machne Leviya, that surrounds the Mishkan. Asher Yanu Shama, Melamed, Shamaglin b'Midbar, there was a place for them to run to. Leichan Godin l'Machne Leviya. They went to Machne Leviya. Mikan Amru, Ben Levi Shara Goyla Miplach Leplach. So let's say in Eretz Yisrael there were 3 Ari Miklat, and on Eivra Yarden there were 3. And then there were 42 other cities, Levium cities, and they also had the status of an Ari Mikla. And if a Ben Levi killed, he goes from city to city. In fact, Vimgala lepilcho pilcho koto. Let's say he moved from Hancock Park to Beverlywood in the same city, but a different neighborhood, that would be considered galus for him. My kra am ravacha bred ravika ki be'ir miklato yeshev. Ir shekatoso kvar, meaning even a city that he lived in, that same city could serve as near miklat for him if necessary. Okay. Then the Mishnah said, Bola Gilgal, the Bamois were not permitted in the Midbar. When they came to Gilgal, where they were for 14 years, where they did battle for 7 years and they divided for 7 years, then after that they moved the Mishkan to Shiloh. But in Gilgal, you were permitted to offer a korban in a bama. Ton Rabbana. Kol nider v'nider hayakar bama. Donative offerings, things that you made a vow to bring, were offered on a bama. That's olos and shlamim. What are korbanos that are not nider v'nidiv? Obligatory korbanos. What's an example of an obligatory korban? If you committed an aveira, you ate chaylev, you ate dam, and now you have to bring a korban chatas, you're obligated to bring that. Or you committed an aveira that you have to bring an ashram for, so you didn't bring a chatas and an ashram at a bama. She'ein nider v'nidiv ein korban bama. Something that is a chova could not be offered in a bama. Mincha nazir is craven bama. This Tanakama holds that you could offer mincha, and if you were a nazir, at the end of your nazirs, you have to bring korbanos. Those could be brought at a private bama. Divrei Meir. The chachamim omrim lo yikarvu yachid ela oilos u'shlamim bilvad. The chachamim do not. The chachamim disagree regarding a mincha and a naziris, but olos and shlamim, which are nidiv and nidiv, could be brought at a private bama. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Kol Shat Sibur Vayochid Makrivin Ba'ol Meitcha B'Midbar. Whatever the Tzibur and a Yochid offered in Ol Moed in the Midbar, Makrivin Ba'ol Meitcha B'Gilgal. They could offer in the Mishkan that was set up in Gilgal, they could do that as well. Meaning you could do voluntary, you could do choivos, everything could be done in Ol Moed that was implanted in Gilgal. And Rabbi Yehuda continues. Ma bein Ol Moed shebemidbar, lebein Ol Moed shebegilgal. So that what was the difference between the Mishkan and the Midbar and the Mishkan and Gilgal? In the Midbar, there were no bamas permitted. Many of the bamas, the mizbeachs, privately were built on their roof. And but they would only bring oilus and shlam. Any korban that was offered in the Mishkan and the Midbar could be offered in Gilgal. V'kan, both by the Ol Moed in Gilgal and by a bama. Loi karvu yachid ela oilo shlamim bilvad. Chatas and ashram, like we said before, according to this chachamim, were not brought, even not in a bama, and we're also not brought in Gilgal. They had to wait, keep track of what they owed, and they had to bring a chatas and an ashram only when the Ol Moed was moved to Shiloh. Reb Shimon Omer Av Tzibur lo yikrivu el psachim. Reb Shimon says that you could bring the korban pesach at a private bama, and Choyvos shekavu lehem zman. I'm sorry. This is the Seaboard didn't bring the Korban Pesach. The only ones they brought were the Korban Pesach in Gilgal and Choyvos shekavu lehem zman. For example, there's a requirement to bring the Olos HaTomid every day, or Olos on Shabbos. Uviyom Shabbos. That's Olos, and on Yontif. So those were brought in the Ol Moed Mishkan. But Chovos, like a Chatas and an Osham, there's no specific date. You have to bring it whenever you can bring it. They were not offered neither at a private bama nor at the Ol Moed in Gilgal. My time at Reb Meir, he held that Chovos were not brought at a bama, only nidr v'nidr. The Amar Akra. Lo tasun k'chol asher anachnu osim po hayom. When you get into Eretz Yisrael and you have private bamas, you're not going to be able to do there what you do here every day. And that is referring specifically to the 14 years that the Mishkan was in Gilgal. Armel and Moshe Yisrael. K'hadisul haaretz, during those 14 years in Eretz Yisrael, Yesharis Takrivu. In your private bama, you can only bring things that you donate. But Choyvos, obligatory offerings, lo sakriv. Menachos Naziris, Yesharis Ninu. But mincha and the korbanos for Naziris are considered like donative offerings, and you could bring that in a private bama. V'rabbanon hold ein mincha b'bama. And Naziris are not considered donative. You have to bring them. Therefore, they also could not be brought on a private bama. Omer Shmuel. This machlokas between Rabbi and the Chachamim regarding the Nazir machlokas b'chatas v'arsha. So, part of at the end of the Nazir's 30 days, he has to bring a chatas, an ashram, and an ola. So, according to Meir, they were considered, if you were a Nazir, that chatas and ashram would be considered donative, and you'd be able to offer it in the bama. According to Chachamim, they are choyvos, and you couldn't. As part of the Nazir's sacrifices, the olos and shlamim could be offered in the bama no matter where, according to both opinions. But Moisif Rabbah, chazav v'shok, the breast and the foreleg, which when you did a shlamim, you gave as a gift to the kohen. Utrumas lach toda. When you brought a toda, you had to bring 40 loaves. A tenth of that, 4, were given to the kohen. Noihagin b'bama gedoyla. This only operated, this mechanism, at the large bama in Gilgal. Now, how can, if you say that according to Rav Meir you could bring, or according to everybody, right? Divra kol yishros dinu v'karvi, the shlamim and the oilers you could be brought. How could you bring it? This brisa says it was only done at the bama gedola. And the Ilu Azra b'Shela Shaira. The Brisa also didn't mention they used to cook the leg, and it wasn't mentioned. Just mentioned the Chaz of Shok, not the Zroa b'Shela. I mean the thigh and the breast, not the leg. So if you say that Rav Meir and the Rabbanon argue regarding whether it's olos or shlamim could be brought at the private bama, so how many Rabbanon? And you could say it's the Rabbanon said the shlam of a nazir is not brought. Then it fits the brisa. But they don't argue with olos and shlamim hamani. Then who's the brisa going like? So they have to change what Shmuel said. There is a machlokas. between Reb Meir and the Chachamim regarding Ol and Shlamim. Reb Meir holds that they're voluntary and they could be brought at a private boma, and the Chachamim disagree. But everybody agrees that a Chatas and an Asham are Choyvos, and the Velo Karvin, you have to offer them at the bama in Gilgal, not at a private bama. Amar the Chachamim Oimrin, Kol Shad Sibur Makrivim Boyel Moyed, whatever they did in the midbar, they could do in the Mishkan in Gilgal. My Tamai Rabban. And that held that for those 14 years in Gilgal, when a Yachid had to bring a Chatas or an Asham, which was a obligatory korban, he couldn't bring it. He had to wait until it moved to Shiloh. Amar Kra Isha Yashar Beinav Yaseh. Ish Yashar Sudalikri. It's only donative offerings that he's allowed to bring. But at the Bama Gedoyla in Gilgal, Yechidim did not bring their choivos there. But the tzibur afilu choivos likri. But the tzibur could bring their obligatory offerings on the Bama Gedoyla that was in Gilgal. Okay. Very good. We will be doing Sefer Esther at 8 o'clock.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Tomorrow night, 7? Can you make it earlier?
You 6:30?
No, because there's the thing by Jeff Fish. So,
Okay, let's do it at 6. Can we do it at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock would be fine. We'll be finished by 6:30. Yeah, 6 o'clock would be great.
We'll do it at
It's
6.
good if everybody can do it. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Shavua Tov, everyone.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
See you soon.